Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe in what is possible for your life. And today I have the great honor to have with me Andrea Nardozza. Andrea and I are both life mastery consultants and certified life coaches, dream builder coaches with Mary Morrissey. Andrea is also an integrative life coach through hypnotherapist Melissa Tears. I have to talk to you about that, Andrea, because I didn't even know. It's like you're holding out on me, girl. She is. Andrea is also a Reiki Master, an energy worker. She does singing bowl meditations, and I think we need to do something together with that. She also does a lot of coaching. Relationship coaching, True North coaching, and communication coaching, and teaches Qi Gong and EFT. Andrea, I am so grateful to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, I love having you. So, of course, because we're twins.
That's right.
Yeah. So for the listeners who don't know, when Andrea and I were together doing different levels of study with Mary Morrissey and the Life Mastery Consultant portion, people would mistake Andrea for me or mistake me for Andrea, and we got called twins all the time. So occasionally we can see it in each other, but it's not too very often. But it's one of those things where we've known each other all of our lives. And it's that great kind of relationship, and those are few and far between. So it's always a thrill to spend time with you.
Right back at you.
Yeah, but better say that. I'll tell Mom if you don't. I'm joking.
And it's funny when we're together. Actually, people ask us, "Are you twins?"
Yeah. It's just it is
crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. So,
but we are. So I feel it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We could have a whole conversation just on that. So, but today I want to focus on, well, first I have to find out, because I guess I didn't even know that you were an integrative life coach through a hypnotherapist. I didn't know that. So does that also mean you do hypnotherapy?
To some degree, yes. The certification that I got through her was not focused directly on hypnotherapy, but it was largely based on NLP and hypnosis. So, yes, I do. On occasion, if I have a client who is particularly resistant to finding something inside of them, I will ask them if they'd like me to put them into trance, and very often things will come forward for them that they can't access with direct consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay. And all it really is a deeper meditation state.
Right. Yeah. So have you ever gone, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say, it's just another tool to use to help someone.
Right. And I have never gone under hypnotherapy. I've thought about it many times. I thought, I don't know if I want to know what I would discover. So I'm assuming that you've been hypnotized then, correct?
Well,
no?
In the course, and in subsequent things that I've been in with her, we go under into trance, in and out. It's actually exhausting. But I can drop into trance almost immediately because I've done it so many times.
Okay.
And actually, let me tell you a story. This is very interesting. I was nursing a broken heart not a broken heart, but a hurting heart, I want to say.
Okay.
And I said to her, I just feel this pain. And she put me into a light trance, and she did some different therapies with me. And do you know, inside of 10 minutes, I have never felt that sensation in my heart again.
Oh, wow.
It was absolutely incredible. And if I hadn't experienced it myself, I would not believe it.
Wow. All right. Well, that's cool.
It really does work.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know many people that have had hypnosis and they rave about it. I have not personally spoken to anybody who's had a bad experience. Everyone I have spoken to has had a phenomenal experience. So it has to be kind of wild if you can just put yourself into trance, and then what's happening. So when you're in trance, we are completely not talking about what we were going to talk about. We'll segue right back in there. What the heck, right? So when
yeah, or later.
Yeah. So when you put yourself into a trance, are you conscious that you are? So it's kind of like being in the conscious and the subconscious world all at the same time.
Right. And it's you're just going into a very deep meditation, and it's you drop down into, and that's the only way I can explain it, because you actually feel like you're just dropping down into yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And allowing for, usually those are guided. Like when I was with her, they were all guided, and she would do whatever she was going to do, right? And we would just go down into the trance, and like she would tell us maybe our hand was getting very heavy, and you would feel your hand getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and you couldn't lift it up. It really, really incredible stuff.
Yeah.
So, but when you go into trance, when you drop down into that state, you're allowing, because what you're doing is you're putting your subconscious into a very calm state, and your ego falls back, and it's allowing for everything else to come in. It's a very cool thing to do.
Right. Well, I know that there's been a gentleman that has been recommended to me up in Minneapolis, and it was like, oh, I mean, really, I think that's the only reason that I'm hesitant. I just always think like, oh, geez, what if I find something out that I don't want to know? Like, you can't unknow something. So I'll have to tell him, be gentle.
Well, and really, nothing will come up that you won't let come up.
Oh, okay.
If you really don't want it to come up, it won't. This is clinical hypnotherapy. It's not like you see on TV or, like quack like a duck, that kind of thing. It's not like that.
Right.
You always feel very safe.
Yeah.
And supported. And if there's something that's really going to upset you, we wouldn't ever take you there, right?
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, then, so I feel like maybe I might just go ahead and do this one of these days, because I think it would be cool to experience it and just to experience it, because I love the idea of, like, we're here. We might as well enjoy every one of the carnival rides that's here on Earth. So let's give it a shot.
Oh, and I have to tell you, you're gonna love it. And if you learn how to do it, and it's really very easy. We go in and out of trance when we're driving, when we're watching TV. Like it's really not as foreign as we all think it is. And it's a little scary because you have someone else in the room, right? And you think, oh, they're going to take control. No, that's not the way it works. You're always in control. You are the one in control.
Right.
It's just that it's just a different level.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So thank you for that, because it is true, and that's very reassuring. And really, I do want to experience everything that I can experience, while I'm here. And that is something that's popped into my head. And so the reassurance of just knowing, yeah, that kind of stuff isn't, it gets so sensationalized, and then that piece of it gets stuck in the subconscious, and, I don't want it to be this horrible event. And yeah, that's not the stuff that's really happening. So cool. So I'll do it, and I'll let you know what that's all about. And in the meantime, before we run out of time, and I've messed up the title for the show, we want to dive into Qi Gong, because I've been doing Qi Gong with you, not as much as I would love to, because you offer this beautiful membership that is so reasonably priced that anybody can join it. And it's, at least the one that I'm going to, is every morning. And I think you're doing it 7 days a week. But unfortunately, because of my schedule, I'm only able to jump on 2 and 3 times a week. But it is a beautiful program, and I want you to talk about that in a little bit. So the listeners, if they want to join in September, the next time you're having a class that will coincide with this podcast, so they can have the information. But first, I want to know, how did you get into Qi Gong, and how long have you been doing it?
Well, in 2009, I started to take a Tai Chi class, and I was going through, well, I didn't know it at the time, but I was about to go through a divorce at that time. And I was taking this class, and I just loved it, because, I love to move, and it was just this beautiful, beautiful movement, Tai Chi, and there's forms that you do in Tai Chi.
Yeah.
There's like 27 forms or 9 forms or whatever it is that you're doing. And I went in for a class because I had missed the group class, so I went in to make up a class. And I started moving with him, and I broke out into absolute hysteria almost. I was crying so hard that I had to leave. That's how much energy was moved inside of me from doing the Tai Chi.
Wow.
Now, fast forward to 2015, I started going to Reiki. I started getting certified in the Reiki. And my Reiki Master said, I do Qi Gong. Why don't you come to this class? You'll love it. You'll love it. And I didn't go. And then I went. And I went, and I was hooked. You know, and it takes a while, right? Like the first time you go, you're just trying to learn the moves, and so once you learn the moves, then you've got to kind of coordinate the breathing, and then the breathing comes, and you just feel good doing it, and then things start to happen energetically. And then things start to heal, and energy meridians start to open, and all kinds of magical, what seems like magic, but it's really just us opening up our bodies and our minds to greater things, right?
Yeah.
And I just said, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing, and I want to share it with everyone, because everyone can do it, from the youngest child to the oldest person. I had one of our challengers. She was in the hospital, and she called from the hospital and said, I want to do the class, because I don't want to slide back from all the energy that I've been getting and all the strength that I've been getting from this class. She did it from her hospital bed for 3 days.
Wow. So is she just doing the moves, but not standing up, but just doing all of the arm movements?
That's the beautiful thing about Qi Gong, is you can do it laying down, sitting down, or standing up.
Okay.
So most of the movements, not all of the movements, of course, are upper body movements. You use your legs, but you don't have to use your legs. And even like when we do the elbow to knee, you can do that in bed too. Right. I'm sitting down right now, and you can do that. You can bring your elbow up to to your knee up to your elbow.
Right.
So that's what I love about this practice. It's easy, it's gentle, and it can be adapted to any form that you're in. If you have an injury, we just adapt to that injury. If you can't stand up, we can do it sitting down. If somebody's using a walker, we can incorporate the walker with it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful form that is easy and incredibly effective.
Right. So one of the things that I want to ask you is what is one or more examples of the energetic changes or the health benefits that you personally received out of it, Andrea?
I've been out and about recently, and everybody has said to me, "Oh my God, you look beautiful. You look absolutely radiant." And I'm like, I've been doing Qi Gong every day for the last 60 days, every day, 4 times a day. So there's that. And you know how we do the fluffing the pillow where we kind of bend down?
Yeah.
I could not get myself all the way down to the floor 60 days ago, and now I can touch the floor when I do it.
Wow.
And not only does that make my body more flexible, but it also opens up all of those meridians.
Right.
And energetically, everything is open now, and that opens up so much more in your brain and in your manifestation. So, there's so many benefits. Your blood pressure goes down, your anxiety, it will break your anxiety. It will give you a clearer mind. It will give you more flexibility, more coordination.
Yeah.
It's just, the benefits are endless.
Right.
And the reason that Qi Gong even came into being, the movements are 5,000 years old, right? But Qi Gong itself only came into being in like 1949, and then not even really into the mainstream until the 70s.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
yeah.
But what they were finding was that people were curing themselves of cancers and ailments that otherwise would not have been curable, right? And in today's society, we can't say that Qi Gong cures cancer. We can't say that. But what I can say is that people have believed that they have cured themselves of cancer by doing it.
Right. Yes. And I've heard that from many different people. Wow. I just had a synchronicity that just popped into my head. And if we have time, I didn't even realize it till we're in the middle of this conversation. I just love life. I love life so much. One of the things that I love about Qi Gong, so when I went to acupuncture school, I also, one of our classes, we had to take Tai Chi. But the names, there's just something about, because the Asian culture is so connected to nature. And so the titles of the Tai Chi movements were, and now I don't remember them because I did it in school and I kind of just let that go. And I forgot about the names until I started doing the Qi Gong challenge with you. And the names of, so fluffing the pillow, but that one's not as exciting as connecting heaven and earth. And what's the one? Is it clearing the Qi or what is it? Not clearing the Qi, clarifying the Qi?
Purifying Qi?
Purifying Qi. And the one I want to say that it is ringing the sacred gong, but that's not correct. What is it?
Ringing the temple gong.
Mm-hmm. Ringing the temple gong. Right. And that's the whole belief that we are like our soul, essence of us is housed inside of this beautiful temple, right? Our body is this temple. And it's like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot all about these fabulous names that Asian culture has that connects us so deeply with nature. What's the one with the clouds or something about moving the clouds?
Brush clouds.
Brushing the clouds.
We do brushing the clouds. There's also parting the clouds, and there's pushing rose petals and swimming dragon. And it's all connected to nature. It's just, and when you go out and do it in nature, it's even more powerful.
Yes, unless that thunderstorm comes down on you like it did for me today, and you have to run for cover. Yes, because when I came inside, it still was good, but absolutely not the same effect as being able to be outside doing this. And I had the opportunity to go to China, years ago, and in all of the parks, any kind of open area, there were so many people, and from little ones to, elders into their 80s, 90s, and probably into their hundreds, that would be in the parks, and beautifully, because these movements are so gentle and so poetic and fluid and flowing, and to watch people doing them in unison, it was just gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And it was Tai Chi and Qi Gong and probably many other modalities that were being used. But, oh man, it is so beautiful. And I can speak for myself how wonderful I feel when we finish up, because the one challenge that I'm doing with you, it's just 15 minutes, which is perfect because it fits right into my lifestyle. First thing in the morning, 15 minutes, and I'm off and going. But it sets the stage for my day. And because we are going to run out of time, how about, can you share with the listeners the Qi Gong challenge that you will be offering in September? I don't even want to say September. It's like, no, don't tell me we're that far along in the year. But what are you offering in September?
Well, and the Qi Gong challenge goes every month.
Okay.
September, October, November. It will be offered every month, and it's 30 days, because it takes 30 days to create a habit, right?
Right.
So 30 days for $30 for 15 minutes a day.
Okay.
And they'll be running at 8 in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, 11 and 11:30, and probably at 3 in the afternoon. I still am getting that one together. But they can find all of that information on the website, which is inspiredlifemastery.com.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to hop in the middle, for $15, I will let them in the middle of the class. I just ask that they do one session with me alone so that I can catch them up.
Right.
At some point. But I want people to come in whenever they feel called to do that. So it's just, people are absolutely loving it.
Yes.
So, I'm
yes.
so glad to be able to offer this.
Right. And the timing, just that short little 15 minutes, and I know you offer longer ones, but the 15 minutes for me is so perfect. And by the way, those times are all Eastern Standard Time. And that information will all be in the show notes. So Andrea's website, the sign up for the Qigong 30-day challenge, the times, the enrollment with the payment, $30 for 30 days. My goodness, that's $1 a day. It's beyond reasonable. And I can tell you that I will continue on for as long as I can continue on. I just have to start working my schedule a little bit better. But right now, I kind of came in where my schedule is already really set. And so it messes me up that way. But Andrea, this time just flies by like there is no tomorrow. I want to continue this conversation. I have a few more questions about Qigong and some other things I want to talk to you about. So I'm wondering, would you be willing to come back and spend some time with me next week so we can continue on this conversation?
I would love that.
Perfect. Awesome. I love it. Thank you. So I have more questions, and then I want to clarify a couple more things. So anybody who's listening, do not worry about missing the information about the Qigong challenge. That will all be in the show notes. Andrea's website, lifemastery.com, and how to sign up for the Qigong. Sorry.
Inspired Life Mastery.
Inspired Life Mastery. This is why it will be in the show notes. It will all be there. So no worries. No worries. Take a deep breath, Nada. It's all good. So it will all be there. And we'll continue this conversation. And of course, I'm going to continue on with the Qi Gong because I'm in love with it. And I know that you're getting rave reviews. So I want to thank you for this time. It flew by. It's crazy how quickly it goes. We're going to swing back and pick this up next week and do it again. So thank you, my dear, for being here. You know that I love you, and I will be talking with you next week.
I love you so much, and thank you very much for having me.
Always. And to all of the listeners out there, if you can jump into that Qigong challenge, I promise you will not be disappointed. It's fabulous. It is absolutely a beautiful way to start your day or start your mid-afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. So until next week, have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Much love to you, and goodbye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show, and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.